Yes, it really became real for me at the very first checkpoint. When we first got pulled over, I felt a little scared, a little nervous. You hear stories and you hope that some of those stories aren't going to happen to you.
Name's Jason Stanvik, here from Edmonton, Alberta. We moved down last September and arrived about the 12th. So when we moved to Mexico, we drove down. We brought our vehicle with us, packed full of all our belongings. Everything that we brought with us had to fit in that one vehicle, so it was full. I probably couldn't put another pair of socks in the back of that thing. It was packed, side to side, front to back, and that's what we had with us. That's everything that we were bringing. So probably, I guess driving down, probably the most unnerving part was just crossing international borders. We had to cross into the US first with the vehicle full of stuff. I had to explain to them that we were not staying in the US, that we were moving to Mexico, and we were just passing through. So we got that got taken care of.
Did you see a nice guy coming out of a bush?
No nice guy. They asked the same questions. They asked me, first they asked if I had fruit. I was like, no, I don't have no fruit. And then they asked if we have guns, and I'm like, well, we don't have guns in Canada, really. So, but and from there, actually, it went fairly well. She looked in the back. Well, you guys have a lot of stuff, and then they basically just stamped our passports and told us to carry on, which then meant the next 2 days were fairly uneventful, traveling through the States. Next big one was we had to cross into Mexico.
Okay, my name's Deirdre and I'm from Edmonton, Alberta, and I moved to Bucerius in September of 2025. It really became real for me at the very first checkpoint. The border crossings were actually quite uneventful compared to the first checkpoint with the federal government of Mexico when they pull you over. Pulled over, I felt a little scared, a little nervous. You hear stories and you hope that some of those stories aren't going to happen to you. But for the most part, they were very professional, and they just wanted to make sure we didn't have anything in our vehicle we weren't supposed to have, which was fine. But we did actually get pulled over to the side at every one of the 6 or 7 checkpoints through Mexico. No, I don't think we got waved through one time. So that was a lot. And it actually made our decision not to drive back. We were going to drive back and forth for a couple years, so we had our vehicle back in Canada. We've decided now to fly, just because we would like to avoid that as much as possible. I don't think maybe every encounter is as good as the last one, I guess I should say. At the end of the day, the driving through Mexico, even the United States, wasn't for me. It was long and tiring and not knowing what to expect.
International border, which no idea how that works, where we go, how we drive. You essentially drive into Mexico, and there isn't really a border crossing, I guess. You drive for about 20 minutes, and then you finally hit some sort of a crossing. We pulled in. They asked us for our residency cards, which we give them. Then they asked us, what we were doing. Told them we were moving to Bucerius. They asked us what we had in the vehicle. Deirdre, at that point, she had made a list of everything that we had in the vehicle. So we give them the list. They look through the list. They come back. They asked a couple questions. I had six bikes on, so they did ask a few questions about the bikes, but it was just kind of, my bike, Deirdre's bike, gravel bike, road bike type thing. So I think the whole interaction took probably about 15 minutes. And they come back, passed us our residency cards, said, welcome to Mexico, enjoy your stay, and that was it. I just kind of looked at the guy, and he's like, yeah, I'll see you later. So I'm like, okay. So we drove from there to what would be, I guess, the next office, which is where they actually look at your passport and scan your passport. But you could drive right by that place without even knowing that you were supposed to stop there. The main reason we stopped was because we had to get a temporary import permit for our vehicle. So when we got there, then we realized, I guess we should probably show somebody our passport now that we're in Mexico. And we got that. We got the tip, for our vehicle. And then some of the fun started because now we start running all the federal inspection stations, which are interesting when your Spanish is it's basically non-existent. Their biggest thing was they just wanted to make sure that we weren't carrying anything we weren't. We didn't have over 10,000 US. We had no guns, no drugs, counted our money, which was a little bit interesting at the first one when they started asking to see your money and they want to count it. They would count the pesos. I think they just thought our Canadian money was funny money and they weren't even too worried about that.
Yeah, the moment we arrived in Bucerias was 11 a.m. We had a short drive the last day, so it was nice. We drove right to the shop. We were super excited to get there and also a little overwhelmed, nervous. This is our new home and we need to figure out how that's all gonna work rather quickly because we were taking over the business like right then. So there was no, we're gonna work with Joel for a couple days in the shop or anything like that. It's all hands on deck. So, but we knew if we needed anything, Joel and Jillian were there to help. So.
And yeah, the moment that we arrived in Bucerias, it was exciting, it was nervous. I think that was another moment again when we realized that this is going to be home now. Probably still surreal at that point, to be honest. Just trying to figure out what it is, getting moved into our condo and getting settled for our new life. I guess it was still wasn't too sure. I guess still sinking in at that point.